and welcome to the Enchantress Society with Tia Johnson, a place where you get to be you, where you get to unlock your magic in a sacred and judgment-free zone. The Enchantress Society is your witchy sisterhood of enchanting women who guides and supports you along your spiritual journey from the mundane to the magical. I invite you to sit for a spell as I interview guests and spill the spiritual tea on how we can create the magical life we deserve. Welcome to the newly rebranded, it's the podcast that got rebranded, the Enchantress Society. Thank you for being here. You know I appreciate it as always. And thank you for spreading the word about this podcast. You guys rock. You're amazing. So here we are with the Tia Scope. And, there are just so many energies going around, happening at any given time that when these moon phases happen, and I don't even talk about the waning and the waxing and the first quarter and all that. I don't even get into all that. But when we go through these moon phases, new moon, full moon, whether or not we can see it, the energy is still there. It really makes me think just how easy it is to go through life not knowing how certain energies play a major role in our lives. And that's just the moon. I also talk about the different planets that play, a huge part with each moon phase, the zodiacs involved. It's so interesting. Once you start learning more about this, then you get why you feel a certain way. And yes, there are other factors involved, like your circumstances, just your personal feelings towards something at any given time during these phases. But it's just, in my opinion, so fascinating how this plays a part, an integral part in our lives. Why we feel a certain way, the decisions we make, the opportunities that happen during any given time. It's truly, truly amazing. And that's one of the reasons why I enjoy doing the Tia Scopes, is because I provide a glimpse into what's going on, right? I'm no astrologer, okay? But I like to understand as much as I can about it, right? That's not my calling to dive deep into that, but I am intrigued by it. So if this was the Enchantress Society, I would be the new witch, or maybe the brightest witch, because I'm a little bit familiar with it, but I wouldn't want to go past that brightest witch phase, if that makes sense, because it's not my calling to go that deep into it, but it is part of my purpose to understand it, how it, like I said before, earlier in the show, how it plays a part in this. And if you're wondering, like, okay, what is she talking about? New witch, brightest witch. I recently started the Enchantress Society, and it is a magical sisterhood community that is here for you to support you along your spiritual journey. So the Enchantress Society portion, it breaks down a little further. The Enchantress Society is where I will host my summits, masterminds, and so forth. So my practices, my training has been revolving around four particular areas, and in some cases starting points in a woman's spiritual journey. So for example, the new witch is the beginner. So maybe you're familiar with some angel numbers, some weird things happen to you. You're not quite sure what's going on, but you have this notion to dig deeper. That's the new witch. You're new to this. You're working on your confidence, your boundaries, understanding the framework of magic and lifestyle, life purpose, things like that. The brightest witch is where you dive into a little bit more of your studies. You get the tarot, you understand oracle cards, dreams, things like that. So this is more the guidance period, more where to channel your energy, more resources that you want to, consume and so forth. The next phase is the witch queen phase. So by this time, you pretty much are really fully aware of your life purpose. You're living it. You are someone who has built their queendom in the process of building it, and you are looking for more foundational things to study more of your magic, understanding a lot that falls under your queendom. And then next is the witch goddess, and this is the HBIC. But at this point, you are really focusing on your legacy, your spiritual counsel, people in your life, starting a book or a YouTube TV show. So it's a broad range, right? But we dive deeper into it. And that's where the Enchantress Coven comes from. And that's a monthly membership. Okay. So with the Enchantress Coven, there's training in there and uh, the monthly Goddess Oracle readings and many bonuses. Also, each witch has her own library. So it's catered to where you are at your point right now in your spiritual journey. Okay, so this isn't a coven where you are working towards becoming like a high priestess and getting spiritual degrees and things like that. The coven is your sisterhood supportive community. So, for example, when we have our witchy happy hours, that's the coven supporting each, and everyone there, talking, getting to know one another, is changing ideas. But you can do all this practice by yourself, studying the material by yourself. And when you're ready to join us for live events and happy hours and so forth, we are here. Okay, so you can learn more by going to the Enchantress Coven, tiamariejohnson.com/Enchantress Coven. And the link would be in the description of this episode. All right, that was a mouthful. I know a lot of information. You can listen to the previous episode, but I wanted to bring it up again because it's new, just starting, and it's only $20 a month. All right. So, new moon and Taurus. I'm on astrologyking.com. That is my resource. And excuse me, my other resource is astrology zodiac signs. Okay. So, for this new moon, actually, let me backtrack a little bit. So, for the Teoscope, if you're new to this Teoscope, I talk about some of the emotions we're feeling right now, what we can do about it, a little bit of background about what's going on. And I have an oracle card that I pulled for you as well. So, and this is just to help us understand some of the things that are going on. And I encourage you to click the link in the description of this episode, astrologyking.com, because you can read the full scope of this new moon, because this is really a deep new moon. All right. So this new moon phase is titled A Dream Come True, because this is really where, and I know I spoke about this in the previous scopes, where, as it says or states, a dream is coming true, is going to be supported by planets that are their, how can I say this? Their properties, their purpose, their correspondences are supporting you in your efforts. So it states here the Taurus new moon is sextile Neptune. All right. So I also looked up what does that mean, because it states here Taurus makes a harmonious sextile aspect to Neptune. And this is where it starts to get deep. So sextile aspect. This really means the flirtatious kind of like connection these two planets have. Okay, so it means that it's the energy that's being created, and that one is usually very cooperative. So is that each planet energies inspires and encourages each other instead of holding them back. So because of this, new ideas and opportunities can flow smoothly between different aspects in one person's life. So in other words, this means that the energies are working in your favor. There isn't like a huge lesson that needs to be learned. For example, when it's heavy with the Saturn energy, there's a deep, harsh lesson that needs to be learned, right? This is more like, oh, you know what? These two planets are getting along quite nicely. Let's roll with this. Or this zodiac sign is getting along well with this planet. Let the flow begin. It's going to be good. Okay. And it's kind of a relief as well. All right. So, also, this has a lot to do with trusting our intuition and dreaming up a new reality. What we want to attract in our lives has a lot to do with our imagination. Einstein talked about using our imagination. There has been documented over the course of time that logic will only get you but so far, and your imagination will take you further. You have to be a little bit crazy, right? Because to believe in something that you can't really put your finger on, like it's not tangible, but you're imagining a lifestyle that you want to have. You're imagining the things that you want to do. You can't really touch it, but you are doing things to lead you towards that. And sometimes they don't pan out the way you want it to. Sometimes that's a dead end, but it's really meant for you to make a U-turn, go a different way, right? You're supposed to learn something and then, make a left, right? And then other times it's just time to park the car, rest, okay, and then get back into motion. So it's hard to continue to trust your intuition when you don't have something physical to back it up. And this is why I encourage us so many times to really get in tune with our gifts, like our clairs, connecting with crystals, things to help us with our reminders, stay on track or change this, okay? Because trusting our intuition can escape us easily. It really can. So we need these what do you call it? These reminders. We need that support to keep us on track when our trust wavers a bit. Okay. So Mercury is here to help us. So let's look at the planets and the days that are involved. Okay. Because it's a lot of positivity here. Like there's a Mercury retrograde, okay, that can mess up technology. All right. And, the planets have a really significant influence on what's going on. And so it's basically a time to stay positive. I know it's rough, but let's dive into this a little bit more. So we have the new moon on a Tuesday. Okay. And of course, moon energy, but it's dark moon, aka new, because you can't see it. So we have dark moon energy, Tuesday energy, which is Mars energy, and we have Taurus. All right. So what does that mean? And Neptune. Let's talk about the Taurus zodiac sign. All right, so the element is Earth. It's ruled by Venus, okay? And well, if you're Taurus, your days are Fridays and Mondays. Those are your like power days. The strengths: reliable, patient, practical, devoted, responsible, stable. Weaknesses, but you know how I feel about that term when it comes to zodiacs: stubborn, possessive, uncompromising. Okay. And it talks about the dislikes: sudden change, complications, insecurities of any kind, synthetic fabrics. Okay. Uh, so when I like to put things into sentences too to help me understand this better. We just got all this information about the Taurus, and it's during this new moon phase. So this new moon phase is about dreams becoming our reality. What does that mean? Okay, well, it means that we can trust our intuition because it's reliable. We need to focus on being patient because we're in this little sweet spot where we have to use our mind, our imagination more before we get active. We can also be practical about this, meaning what's the mundane aspect here that you need to do? Maybe you need to go in your bathroom, lock the door, spend a little bit of time by yourself, with your thoughts. Maybe let the shower run so it's steamy, you're relaxed, your joints are relaxed, it's warm. Okay. And it's like that little boundary you set up because you're in the bathroom by yourself. No one can disturb you. And I'm saying this because people who I also work with, sometimes they have roommates or they're just living with people, period. And sometimes it's just hard to have a little bit time to yourself. So that's why I made that suggestion. You can go for a walk in the park, anything. Devote it. Now, in this month's training in the Enchantress Coven, devotion was the word. Devotion, self growth, self promotion, all that. Okay, personal growth. And we worked with goddess Parvati. So each month is a goddess themed training. So it's very interesting that now we had that devotion, because this is also about being devoted to yourself and your dreams. So use a work with goddess Parvati too with this. Responsible and stable. So this is also about you being responsible with your intuition. Again, practice it, know your gifts. And I use the clears often because that's a good starting point. And then stubborn, are you possibly going to self-sabotage yourself? When you're imagining something, do you think, oh no, that's too crazy? Now, it's okay to have a feeling like that because our brains are wired to protect us. We have to let those thoughts be fleeting, right? And this is where we understand the difference between our mechanism of, oh, I'm in danger, or, oh, fire, hot, don't touch, a preventive thing, then oh no, I probably shouldn't think that because money's the root of all evil. And if I make a lot of money, then people are going to look at me differently. No, that's a protective mechanism. Okay, so understanding that Taurus energy will help us to understand this new moon. Okay, don't be so stubborn, and you'll see with this oracle card how this makes sense too. So don't be so stubborn and so possessive and wanting a certain outcome that you overlook opportunities. Okay. Now, with the Neptune energy we have here, this is very interesting because Neptune is literally the saying, the two sides to a coin. On the flip side, this is literally Neptune. It states here, Neptune is a planet of misconceptions and lies, just as it is a planet of ultimate faith and trust. The first sentence here, people, for this telescope, this Taurus new moon, when we are using our imagination, we are trusting our intuition, we are doing all these things to help our dreams come true, it's going to be what we say it's going to be. So don't stop midway when you want to manifest, when you're thinking about your dreams and so forth. As the saying goes, you didn't get this far to get this far. Like, keep going, keep going. So this is going to be what you make it. Just like anything else in life, it's going to be what you make it. What you put in is what you get out, etc. So if you're going to limit yourself, you're going to create this illusion, and that's a misconception and lie. Or you can have ultimate faith and trust. And ask goddesses, spirit, whoever you work with, to give you signs, confirmation, etc., to help you along the way, to keep you on track. And it states here, there is a fragility to its field of emotion. And when our personal planets get in touch with Neptune, we easily become unstable, scared, or sometimes too sensitive to handle the rough world surrounding us. Ding, 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 ding. This is why the Taurus energy is here, so we can channel that reliable, patient, practical, devoted, stable energy, because now is a time for us to easily not trust our intuition, to easily let go of our dreams because we don't have enough information to keep going. Neptune is a place of all compassion and the fill of the humankind and the bringer of talents and incredible possibilities into our lives. Is this not the new moon to bring incredible possibilities into our lives? Okay. To understand it, we need to accept the fact that it cannot be understood, and only pure faith can help us grasp its meaning and realize what its role is. Wow. Is asking us to have absolute faith in what we want in our lives. That we don't have to understand it completely, but we need to trust it. And I get that's hard. I yell at spirit often. I'm like, come on, what's the hold up? Okay, so I understand, trust me, because I can feel some people going like, what? Okay. I'm trying to see if I want to read this next sentence. Like I looked over this ahead of time because I highlighted this to make sure that my eyes didn't wander. And it just goes on to talk about the color and stuff like that. And so so it's funny because it talks about Saturn and it states here, always something different from the common world and the outside the bounds of Saturn. Neptune is any illusion we decide to trust on our path, including those that give our life the sense of magic. Right? So be careful of the illusions that you are going to tell yourself. Okay. This is where the Taurus energy reminds us, to be responsible, be practical, be stable. Okay. So don't allow yourself to build an illusion of why you can't do something. Okay. All right. Let's go to now Tuesday, and then I'm going to talk about the Oracle card. So Tuesday is a day where the energy is pretty potent. Okay. Oh, actually, we have to talk about the new moon and then the Oracle card. So Tuesday, and again, there are many sources where Tuesday get his name from, depending on, the culture and so forth. But I have here, and this is on the blog, for the Magical Days of the Week series I did. Tuesday is named after the Norse deity of battles, and I don't know how to pronounce this. I meant to look this up beforehand, but it's spelled Tiw. But also, there's an old English term and so forth. Anyway, it's not crazy important. I just wanted to state that it has to do with battles and courage. Okay. Mars is that energy of war, strength, in our endeavors, passion, bravery, aggression, right? So this is the time to channel all that passionate energy towards what we want to create in our lives, right? Like, don't give up on ourselves. I can't stress this enough. So with Tuesday, that's the energy you want to channel. That, and aggression doesn't have to be a bad term. I know it's unfortunately used because people are just hard. Some people are just horrible, but you can be aggressive towards what you want to bring into your life, right? You can be aggressive with removing people who aren't adding value in your life. You can be aggressive with cleaning your home. Like, you know what? That's it. I'm getting it done. I'm getting rid of all the old things. I'm done. Okay. So channel that passion. Be brave. Dare yourself to dream those dreams. As the saying goes, let your freak flag fly. That was so hard to say with my brackets, guys. I need credit for that. Oh my gosh, that was so hard. If you're new to this show, I have brackets in my teeth, and it changed the way I talk. So it's a little bit hard to talk. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I recorded certain trainings because of the speech issue now. But anyway, and then also to take a little further, you can connect with goddess Lilith today, the Roman god of war, Mars, okay, and of course the Norse god of battle and courage, right, to help you during this time. All right, and then the new moon, I'll be quick with the new moon because I want to get to the Oracle card and then talk about the overall, like how we feel and so forth. So the new moon, just by default, we can do some self-reflection. Okay, we can look into what we need to bring to the light. Of course, this is always a time for shadow work. But because this is more so focusing on making your dreams come true, you may want to ease up a little bit on shadow work. Unless through meditation it comes up and it's a block that you had to get through in order to let this flow happen. All right. But that's what I want to say about that. Okay. So just as the full moon is a great time to help you manifest because you have all that extra energy, some people would say it's a great time to nurture yourself because you have all that extra energy and not manifest. And the new moon is a great time for manifesting because you are starting fresh. And by the full moon, you want to have manifest something or by a certain full moon, etc. Okay. Different schools of thought all are okay depending on where you're at in your spiritual journey. Okay, let's get to the oracle card. All right, so this is compassion, and what I like about this card is that I'm getting, and it's funny because it looks like this woman is holding the earth in her hand, but then you can't quite tell because it looks like paper mache. But with compassion, and I talked about this in the reel that I did for this, is that now's the time to be compassionate, kind, and like easy on yourself. There's a lot of great change that is going to happen, and it's going to be a little bit overwhelming because it's going to happen all together and fast. Like several things are going to happen together, like boom, boom, boom. It's like, whoa, wow, okay, cool. This is all great and fun. And then while you are in that moment, it's going to be easy for you to forget your center. Like with anything, when we're happy and we're excited, we overlook some things. We're like, I'll be okay. It's all good. It's all great. Then we go back like, oh, I could have done that a little bit differently. Or, oh, it was great. Maybe that could have, and so forth and so forth. So just remember to keep your center, wherever that is. If that's you, journaling for, I don't know, 5 minutes in the morning, going for your morning walk, getting your morning coffee, whatever your center is in the morning. If that's you, giving your kids a kiss on the cheek, hugging your spouse, drinking coffee together, morning, whatever your center is, don't forget it. Okay, don't forget it. Continue to do it. And as I stated before, when I say a daily practice, I mean to do it more times than not throughout the week. I know life happens. I don't expect anyone to do something every day, all the time, right? But I'm saying do it maybe 3 times a week or 4 times a week, something like that. So really remember to be kind to yourself, give yourself room and space during this time because it's a huge flow of emotions, especially because of the intuition aspect with our with the moon. And there was something else I saw that was connected to intuition. I saw it somewhere when I was doing a little research. But anyway, it's it's a highly emotional time, and it's easy to become out of balance. Okay, just as I was reading with the Neptune, it can go either way. This You can be easily unstable and scared because you're going to see these things start to come to fruition. It's like, oh, whoa, like, you also got to be ready to receive what you put out there. Sometimes it's almost like unbelievable, like, oh, wow, is he really that amazing? Mm, I don't know. What's his game here? But it's like, no, he's really actually a cool guy with great intentions. They exist, or she's a really cool friend. Or wow, he's actually a really good teacher. Wow, you know what? She took the lead. She got it done. I trusted her. And yeah, these people exist. And so just keep that in mind. You're going to have thoughts that will easily knock you out your conductor seat, right? This is your show. This is your train. You're playing. You're the head honcho. but is easy for someone or some thought to throw a wrench in your plans. This is the heads up. So when you get that thought, you can dismiss it. Even if you need time to feel that, like, why did I think of that? Oh, because maybe you were taught to think that way. Maybe you saw something happen to someone and that made you change your way of thinking. Maybe you're surrounded by assholes. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, keep in mind that during this time, it's going to be easy for you to second guess yourself. Okay. So if you're around coworkers and they're a bunch of jerks, that can happen because, you spend most of your time with your coworkers. And now some people are physically back at work. Some are somewhat back at work. So, you're spending time with people who can easily upset you, and you go home to your loving family or, whatever the case may be. And you have to decompress. You have to switch gears. Okay. So that's what I mean. Like, also take note of who's surrounding you. Are you getting emails from people, and it's just like, come on, and it's like causing static in your field, your aura, and you have to cleanse that's what I mean. So sometimes you can be around great people, great friends, great family, and then work will get to you, those jerks. That's what I mean. I don't want anybody to think like I'm calling their friends jerks. Like, no. All right, so let's get back to the astrology team. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's talk about how we're feeling right now, because I talked a lot about the zodiac and the celestial planets. So some of us are feeling like, and I'm including myself because I am, going through this as well, the new moon phase. Some of us are feeling like we're in, I don't want to say a container, but this is the best visual I can give. Like, we're not moving, we're not going forward, we're definitely not going backwards, but we're in like this little space right now. Well, this is the space where we are going to, and this is why I love visualization magic. This is the space where we're going to use our intuition, we're going to use our thoughts, our feelings, our imagination to help with our psychic awareness and to bring in what we want in our lives, our desires, so we can have that amazing, magical life we deserve and desire, right? That's for some of us. Others, this is the time where we are going in a fast track motion. So while some people they have to stay put just a little bit while spirit is doing his work, aligning things, other people are going to think about something and zoop, it's like boom, 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 things are getting done. And then for other people, it's going to take a little while longer. Wow. It's going to take a little longer for some things to happen. So that group, you need to have more trust and faith in your intuition. It's not leading you astray. There's just more things that have to happen first. And I get so frustrated when that happens. Trust me. I am not the most patient person. I've been saying that for years. I feel like I gotten better, but still I yell, spirit, let's go. Okay. What's the lesson? Let's go. All right. I'm not trying to be in this space for too long. Let's go. So I get it. All right. So we're feeling that way. And you could be feeling a combo of things, right? For some people, again, we are leaving that container space and going towards the fast track. Okay. And I want to scroll down here for a minute because this dates back to November and December. And when I was reading this, I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is a prime example of how energies linger. And not necessarily in a bad way. This was just, per eclipse. So this new moon, like the phases from new moon to full moon, etc. But okay, I'm just going to read what it states here. New moons normally last for 4 weeks up to the next new moon. However, the May 11th new moon, this new moon, is the final phase in an eclipse phase that ends on May 26th lunar eclipse. This means it's best to put our new moon plans into action within the coming 2 weeks. Get on it. It also means you should look back to the beginning of this eclipse phase to see how this new moon fits into your long-term goals. So this is about being in the long haul, which is why we had to be, as I said earlier, a little bit crazy, right? Think about the entrepreneurs who are wildly crazy successful, even those who aren't wildly crazy successful. But I'm just saying that because you know the ones who are like the Elon Musk, the Steve Jobs, the Oprah Winfrey's of the world, right? They had to be a little crazy because they created something that didn't exist before, or they enhanced something that did exist. And it's like, who would think of that? And by the way, it didn't work right away at first. Oh, and by the way, it didn't work the second, third, or fourth, or fifth, or a hundred. And they kept going and kept going and kept going and tweaking and being flexible. And I'm sure they cried and screamed and yelled, like ugly cry, screamed and yelled. And you know, of course, right? You got to be in the long haul. Your life purpose, your magic, all of you, what you're meant to do, that vision, that feeling, it's already been given to you. And now we have to grow into that vision and beyond. Something still hasn't been revealed to us. As I said, and I don't even remember which episode, if you would have told me that I would be an eclectic witch in 2021, I would have said, maybe, but I don't know about that. But yeah, here I am. That wasn't part of my vision. It wasn't. But my vision took me, but so far, my imagination took me as wide as my imagination could have gotten me, right? And I'm still imagining even more things, but part of my imagination got me to a point that allowed me to go further than I could imagine because I left room for spirit, goddesses, other divine beings for the long haul. And that's what we have to do. It's what we imagine, right? But also allow room for spirit to do its thing. Okay? Because we can't even begin to imagine. So let's talk a little bit about the November 2020 lunar eclipse and the December 2020 solar eclipse, because this dates back to that, right? Because it's about to wrap up. So let's look at this and see how it plays a part in this. Because I'm thinking back to where I was in November and December, and it's starting to make sense. So November 2020 lunar eclipse, and I did a telescope on that, so you can definitely scroll back. And, I think I did a reading for both of these, but you can scroll back if you want. All right, it states here that lunar eclipse in November 2020 created tension, anxiety, uncertainty, and insecurity. But with flexibility, you can adapt to changing conditions and take advantage of opportunities to improve your love life and your finances. I know several people who shifted their business and launched stuff in November and killed it. Like they launched from November and did not until January. It was just a rollout process that was really a long haul process when you think about it. And I remember because I actually purchased a course in November because I think it might have been early December, late November. And I was nervous. It was uncertainty, okay, about it. But I did it, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I purchased that course. And it did, it helped turn finances around. Other things I did helped turn my love life around. So I can see that. Now, December. And I want you to think about this. What were you doing in November? Go back to your calendar. What did you attend? Like, what were you doing? What were you feeling? If you can remember, maybe you can go to your Facebook pictures and kind of, start to remember. Then there's the December 2020 solar eclipse. Gave the energy and initiative to set new goals and act on your plans with confidence. However, you must protect against confusion and deception and the risk of infection from the pandemic. So, confusion and deception. That's what we were talking about earlier, right? I said that with Neptune, illusions. One side, misconceptions. The other side, truth. Right? So for December, it's saying like, look, you set these new goals, there were new goals and you acted on it with confidence. But again, all that stuff can waver at any time. Confidence can waver. You could be very confident in exercising. You can be confident at your job, but you cannot be confident in your love life. You can be maybe not confident with your body, maybe not confident with your knowledge or adulting. There are so many things that people learned about surviving and they didn't learn about other things. And so when they became an adult, it's like, oh my God, there are so many things that I don't know. And then sometimes people feel inadequate, they're embarrassed, they're ashamed, but there's nothing to be ashamed about, right? We're always learning, always learning. If someone makes you feel ashamed for something that you didn't know, like, oh, how could you not know that? They're a jerk. Okay. And I don't mean they're teasing you like they're your friend and like, oh, come on, come on, John. Everyone knows that. There's a difference. And you will know the difference based on the vibe. That's why I'm such a proponent on people understanding vibes. It's just like even when someone tells a joke, some people can tell a joke and some people can't. It'll be the same joke. It's like, that joke's not hitting. It's just like that. There are people who joke and it's okay. And there are other people who joke and you know that they're not really joking. Okay. All right. So we see here, there's the beginning of something, there's a beginning of change, and it's good change, and we're following through. And all this is saying is don't stop, okay? Don't shortchange yourself. Don't let outside and sometimes internal, right? Because our thoughts can get us. Don't let internal thoughts and feelings or external thoughts and feelings from people and so forth ruin your life plans. The future you is counting on you. You were once the future you for yourself, right? So I'm all about thanking past selves. I thank past Tia. Past Tia got me here, and the past you got you here. And now your future you is counting on you to follow through. Screw these other people who are not for you and your crazy wild dreams. Whenever my friends tell me about some crazy idea they have, I'm like, go for it. What's your plan? Like, let's hear the strategy. All right, let's go. Let's do it. I'm for it. I support that. Why not? Why not? Give it a try. Why not? You got the means, you can do it. Why not? Okay. Even if you feel like, I don't know, I don't know if I have all the means, give it a try, but maybe like a shot, like a little, like do what you can, start where you can. All right. So here we go. This is an excellent time for making a fresh start, turning over a new leaf, starting a new project. Okay. You can also question old habits, behaviors, and beliefs as you search for new ways to make progress. So what can we do at this point? I talked about how we're feeling, a combination of things. All right. But what can we do right now? I said this, gosh, when I first started doing YouTube videos, and it stands the test of time. I'm going to say it again. Do not tell everyone what you are doing. Do not share your dreams with everyone. I don't care if it's, your close family member, if they're not going to understand it, or they might have some, and sometimes their advice is just to protect you. But you have to keep it close to a chest a lot of times, okay? Because it's easy for you to second guess, especially if it's coming from a family member or someone who's known you for a long time. And, maybe their views are different. Maybe they have an old school way of thinking. And, that's just not right for you. Okay? It's just not right for you. So you have to keep your dreams close to the chest, okay? And you can share it when you get to a point where no one can burst your dream bubble, okay? Now, if you have a very good, excellent, ride or die, true blue, stone cold friend, or who you can be 100% vulnerable around, who got your back, yeah, tell them your dreams. Tell them all that. Tell them how you're a little bit nervous and all that. but just that person. Okay. It's too critical of a moment for you. So this is also a time to express your more caring side. Okay, so again, like the card, be more compassionate towards yourself. So if you want to focus on like the environment, you can to help, that way you totally can. Um, so now it states here. Actually, let's go to the summary because I like how it puts everything together. And I will, before I go there, I will state this. This new moon, here's why I saw the intuition and sensitivity. I meant to highlight this part because my eyes just go all over the place. All right. New moon, the sextile Neptune. That means, they're close, they're good, whatever. This heightens our sensitivity, intuition, imagination, and creativity. Everything is heightened right now. Increased awareness may give you valuable insights about yourself, the people around you, and even about the future. This is crazy because I had a vision last night about something and I cried, and I will tell you the vision when it happens in its entirety because I got a glimpse. I was concerned about something. I meditated on it. I asked the goddesses. I asked for assistance, basically. And normally they would not give me a vision. They'll say, Tia, now you know. Okay. But they showed me mercy because they know, like, once I get a vision, I'm like a dog with a bone. Like, oh my gosh, that's it. Yay. What do I have to do? What's next? But they gave me the vision and I cried. Like two visions actually, same topic, two visions. And I cried. Like I just teared because it was so overwhelmed. I was so overwhelmed with joy that I'm just like, I cannot wait for that. I'm looking forward for that to happen. Like I am so just overwhelmed with emotions and I love it. So uh don't be afraid to ask for validation, for assistance, for guidance, and understand how you receive that. Me, I'm a highly visual person, highly creative person. I've been saying this for years. You can tell me something all you want. I need to see it. I'm a visual learner. It's not going to work. I tell people, especially when we talk about real estate, oh, the house is 1,600 square feet. That means shit to me. I absolutely don't know. How many bedrooms, how many baths? I'm a visual person. I can map out, okay, 4 bedrooms. Okay. All right, three, okay, 3 bathrooms. Okay. Okay. So it's probably a 2-story spacious home. Okay. Living room, maybe a den. Okay, maybe a pot. Then I can visualize it that way. But if you say 1,600 square feet at some, in some neighborhood, that doesn't mean anything to me. Especially if I don't know the neighborhood. I'm like, okay, and so get more visual. But if that's not your main thing, if you're not if you're not if you're clear, if your strongest clear is not clairvoyancy, maybe it is clairsentient, maybe you're a clear, you're feel, or maybe you're claircognizant, then you might get that thought, oh wait, what I'm doing, of course is going to pan out. Or you might get the thought to read this book, or the thought to read that article, the thought to turn to that TV channel, and your answer is there. Other people's stories can also be your answer. I saw this post on Instagram that says when you see your friends winning, that's a sign that basically you're in that winning space and you're next, right? So if you get a thought to do something, to talk to someone, or whatever the case may be, know that that applies to you as well, or a portion of it applies to you. All right. Okay. So I wanted to make sure I said it was bothering me too. I was just like, how can I find that sensitivity, intuition portion? All right. So where did I stop? Oh yeah, and events about the future. Yeah, that was a division I had about the future. All right, so it wraps up. So this is the excellent time to visualize or dream up your ideal future. Make new goals now to turn your dreams into reality. So basically, what it's saying is, what got you here isn't going to get you there. I know this is a long tedious scope, but it's good. It's a lot of information. So what got you here isn't going to get you there. So you need to have new goals to turn your dreams into reality. Part of what I'm doing now is changing my wardrobe, because the way I used to dress, it was okay. I liked it, but I used to really be into fashion. Like really, I wanted to be a fashion designer. I was following Gianni Versace when I was a kid and he was assassinated. I was crying in my living room. I was because we so back then it was the big floor model TVs, but like the really big, like Google 1980, 1990 floor model TVs because that's what I had. And so I was this little kid, and I remember sitting on the floor, well, carpet floor, like just crying. I was just so like I just idolized him. Like I was so into fashion, and then over time, I just watered myself down. I dressed a little bit more practical, like, oh, I just need to. Life happens, right? And that's part of your environment. How do you dress when you're at work? And now I'm starting to see that change where people are saying, you know what, screw this. All right, I don't want to go to work wearing navy blue, black, and maybe gray or khaki. People are just like, you know what? I'm going to wear pink. I'm going to wear red. I'm going to wear green. I'm starting, and I'm loving that. Like it's really starting to come back now. And so I am going to change my wardrobe to reflect my dreams, my intuition, how I want to look going forward. So I actually, excuse me, posted on Instagram a call to action. If anyone knows, and I want to support my small business healers, witches, spiritually inclined people, however, whatever title you want to use, I want to support you guys. I want to buy more celestial looking clothing, witchy looking clothing, jackets, all that, right? Because I'm changing myself because what got me here isn't going to get me there. And I need to dress the part, right? And plus, I'm feeling it anyway. I'm feeling that need for a wardrobe change. I've been buying clothes that match my brand colors, but now I need to focus on the style, right? So I encourage you, what do you need to focus on? What change do you need to do to help you represent the future you? That we're already feeling it. Like I already feel it. I know the clothes I want to wear. So what are you feeling? All right. So let's wrap it up with the summary the astrology king has here. All right. The May 11th new moon sextile Neptune is ideal for making your dreams come true. And sun conjunct moon, that means they're just close together, is good for setting new goals and getting them started. Moon sextile to Neptune helps you dream up your ideal future. This is, again, your intuition is so potent now. Please use it. The other planetary aspects, okay, so yeah, fits along to this picture. New moon, okay, I already talked about the new moon lasting, and that's pretty much it. So while it talks about Mars and Uranus are encouraging, are giving you inspiration and encouraging you to make a change and take a risk. But I am about calculated risk. Calculated risk. Okay. Now it's up to you to make an uncalculated risk, but you will, from me, receive calculated risk because the last thing I want anyone to do is be like, oh, you know what? I am ready for change. Quit my job. No, have a strategy before you quit your job. Okay. That's all I'm saying. A calculated risk. All right. And all in all, it states here, finally, all the factors combined mean you can trust your instincts and be confident about taking a leap of faith. Now more than ever, dream the impossible dream, make calculated risks, Please trust your intuition, but get to know your intuition. This is why I start with the foundational stuff when I teach people that framework. I know it seems mundane, but I work on confidence and boundaries and understanding yourself and life purpose and understanding your powers, unlocking them. Because when you have that as a foundation, self-care, all that, when you have that as a foundation, a lot of the other stuff gets easier. But if you don't practice on the foundational stuff, asking yourself, what's my starting point? Like, where am I at right now in life? And where do I want to be? Am I confident in myself? Where do I need to turn up the volume on my confidence? Do I have good boundaries? Because if you don't have good boundaries, guess what? You're going to tell people all the things you're doing. And guess what? Some of those people are going to knock you down, or at least try to. Some people are going to try to uplift you, but it's going to be a pull and tug. So you're going to be what? Stuck. Okay. So this is why it's important. And we can talk about all the magical stuff and the spells and the rituals and how you want to do it. And we get as intricate as you like. And I talk about that sometimes. But I am a firm believer in getting the foundational stuff first and working from there. So once you understand your intuition, how you receive it, understanding yourself, then you can trust your intuition more, because now you're not going to doubt yourself. Now that thing you feel in your chest, that thing you feel in the middle of your forehead, that little shiver you had, that those numbers you see, that song you keep hearing, that tune that's playing in your head, that passage you keep seeing on Instagram, whatever, that's how you receive messages. That's your intuition. You're in the shower and then you get this vision or this thought. That's your intuition. That's how that works. So really understand how you receive messages, what your gifts are, and it's easier for you to trust your intuition. And when you get a thought of, oh man, like, what is this doing? Why is it taking so long? You can express that, but it won't set you back. And that's the thing. Some people think if they think of a bad thought, it's going to, ruin the entire thing. The time when your thoughts, the thoughts that are opposite than the thoughts that you are using to attract something, the time those thoughts mess up what you want to attract is when you combine that with your emotions and your actions. So if you are dreaming of, your soulmate, your dream soulmate, right? But you're not taking care of yourself. You aren't going out to do anything. You're not, trying to figure out how to meet people. Like, you're not really doing anything for yourself first and foremost. You're not going to meet that energy. So you're not showing the universe that you really want someone. What you're saying is you kind of sort of want someone, and that's really it. So you have to be aware. Are you doing self-work? What does your environment look like? Is your environment welcoming for someone to come into your life? Okay, so you have to really think about all that, combining your emotions and your actions with your thoughts. Okay, so that's what I had for you for this Tia scope. This was a lengthy one, but it was a lot because we were talking even about the previous eclipses. We had to put all the energy in there. So this energy is wrapping up, but this is the next chapter in our lives if we want it to be the next chapter. Okay. I am sending you so much love, so many blessings. I am always rooting for you. Remember to be kind to yourself, and I will talk to you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in, Magical One. Let's keep in touch. Join the VIP email list by going to tiamariejohnson.com. And as always, I'm sending you lots of love, many blessings. I'm rooting for you. And remember to be kind to yourself. Until next time.